Hagenau is a commune in the Bas-Rhin department of France, of which it is a sub-prefecture. It is second in size in the Bas-Rhin only to Strasbourg, some 30 kilometers to the south. To the north of the town, the Forest of Haguenau is the largest undivided forest in France. Hagenau was founded by German dukes and has swapped back and forth several times between Germany and France over the centuries, with its spelling altering between Hagenau and Hagenau by the turn. It was last German at the end of World War I, then briefly part of the independent Republic of Alsace-Lorraine before being annexed by France in 1919. Hagenau is a rapidly growing town, its population having increased from 22,644 inhabitants in 1968 to 34,891 inhabitants in 2006. Hagenau's metropolitan area has grown from 43,904 inhabitants in 1968 to 64,562 inhabitants in 2006. History. Hagenau dates from the beginning of the 12th century, when the German dukes of Swabia erected a hunting lodge on an island in the Moder River. The medieval king and Holy Roman Emperor Frederick I Barbarossa fortified the settlement and gave it town rights, important for further development. In 1154, on the site of the hunting lodge he founded an imperial palace he regarded as his favorite residence. In this palace were preserved the crown jewels of the Holy Roman Empire, i.e., the jeweled imperial crown, scepter, imperial orb, and sword of Charlemagne. Richard of Cornwall, king of the Romans, made it an imperial city in 1257. Subsequently, through Rudolf I of Germany, Hagenau became the seat of the land vote of Hagenau, the German imperial advocators in Lower Alsace. In the 14th century, it housed the Executive Council of the Decapole, a defensive and offensive association of 10 German towns in Alsace against French aggression and related political instability. In the Peace of Westphalia in 1648, the Alsace was ceded to France, which had, in the past, repeatedly invaded and looted the region. In 1673, King Louis XIV had the fortifications as well as the remains of the king's palace razed in order to extinguish German traditions. Hagenau was recaptured by German troops in 1675, but was taken again by the French 2 years later, when it was nearly destroyed by fire set by looting French troops. In 1793, Prussians and Austrians had occupied Lower Alsace from the Lauter to Moder to support the Royalists, and before the year's end were driven back over the border by the French Revolutionary Army, causing the Great Flight. In 1871, Hagenau was ceded to the German Empire upon its victory in the Franco-Prussian War. The community was made part of Alsace-Lorraine, with its Germanic spelling Hagenau restored. The Hagenau Airport was built in 1916 by the German military to train fighter and bomber pilots to fight in World War I. Hagenau was part of the briefly independent Republic of Alsace-Lorraine after World War I, before being annexed by France in 1919. World War II. In the Second World War, Germany retook the town in 1940. In November 1944, the area surrounding Hagenau was under the control of the 256th Volksgrenadier Division under the command of General Gerhard Franz. On 1 December 1944, the 314th Infantry Regiment of the 79th Division, 15th Corps, 7th U.S. Army, moved into the area near Hagenau, and on 7 December the regiment was given the assignment to take it and the town forest just north that included German ammunition dumps. The attack began at 06:45, the 9th of December. and sometime during the night of the 10th of December and the early morning of the 11th of December the Germans withdrew under the cover of darkness, leaving the town proper largely under American control. Before they withdrew, the Germans demolished bridges, useful buildings, and even the town park. However, as experienced by Hagenau throughout its history, the Germans came back and retook the town in late January. Most of the inhabitants fled with the assistance of the U.S. Army. The Americans launched an immediate counterattack to retake the town. The 313th Infantry Regiment of the 79th Division was relieved by the 506th PIR of the 101st Airborne Division on 5 February 1945. The 36th Infantry Division would relieve the 101st on 23 February 1945. On March 15, the Allied Operation Undertone, a combined effort of the U.S. 7th and French 1st Armies of the U.S. 6th Army Group, was launched to drive the Germans back along a 75 km line from Saarbrücken to Hagenau. The last German soldier was not cleared out of the town until March 19, 1945, after house-to-house fighting. Much of the town had been destroyed despite the Allied reluctance to use artillery to clear out the Germans. The town is the site where Medal of Honor recipient Maurice E. Crane earned the medal at the cost of his life to give covering fire for his men on 13 March 1945. Population. Economy. The town has a well-balanced economy. Centuries of troubled history in the buffer lands between France and Germany have given Hagenau rich historical and cultural heritage which supports a lively tourist trade. There is also a thriving light manufacturing sector centered on the industrial zone to the west of the town. Here, the presence nearby of significant retail developments testifies to Hagenau's importance as a regional commercial center. The recent extension of the Ring Road has improved access to the commercial and industrial zones and reduced the traffic congestion which used to be a frequent challenge for vehicle drivers using the road, which follows the line of the old town walls on the western side of town. Sites. Architecture. In spite of the extensive destruction Hagenau suffered during the many wars experienced by Alsace, especially the 30 Years' War, the French conquest in 1677 and World War II, she still possesses monuments from 9 centuries, even if nothing is left of arguably the most prestigious of them, Frederick I Barbarossa's imperial palace. Medieval Hagenau retains 3 gates from its former fortification, the Tour des Chevaliers, the Tour des Peckers and the Porte de Wissembourg. 2 fairly large Gothic churches, St. George and St. Nicholas, an ancient water mill and the old custom house. Both St. George and St. Nicholas Church have lost many of their artistic treasures over the centuries, especially the medieval stained glass windows and outside sculptures. Still, both display to this day some fine liturgical furniture. St. Nicholas has become the receptacle for the Baroque wooden decoration of the church of the destroyed Newburgh Abbey nearby. French Baroque and Classicism has bequeathed the town several buildings, among which the former hospital and the current town hall. The synagogue is a fine example of French neoclassicism, as is the theatre. The large Hop Hall is a good example of historicism in architecture. It was built by the French in 1867 and extended twice by the Germans, in 1881 and 1908. Hagenau's streets are adorned by attractive fountains, the medieval St. George Fountain, the 18th century Bee Fountain and the 1825 Dolphin Fountain. Museums. Musée Historique de Hagenau, the largest museum in Bas-Rhin outside of Strasbourg. It is located in a grand neo-medieval building. Musée Alsacien, located in the former palace of the Chancellor, Hagenau's main Renaissance building. Musée du Baggage, located in a former 1840s villa that subsequently served as a bank. The museum opened in April 2016. Higher education. The Institut Universitaire de Technologie de Hagenau was founded in 2006. It is a branch of the University of Strasbourg. Notable people: Thomas Anselm, Werner Barcult, a Catholic spiritualist; Alfred von Beckerath, Charles Baudelaire, Stéphane Bell, Philip Bede, Philip Friedrich Bodecker, a composer and organist; David Elia Couteau and Kafhan, a Jewish French traveler, Orientalist and writer; Wolfgang Fabricius Capito, a Christian theologian and reformer; Roger Corbo, Morrissey Crane, a United States Army soldier; Louis Eisenman, Friedrich I Albert Gemrich, Karl Gengler, a politician; Gustav Glotz, Heinrich Gran, a printer of incunabula; Heinrich von Isny, Josel of Rosheim, a Jewish Stadtland, born here; Sadrich Klein, Diebold Laber, Borach Levi, later Joseph Jean-François Elie, a Jewish convert to Christianity; Eliezer Lieberman, an Austrian Jewish Talmudist, son of the Rabbi Zeb Wolf of this town; Sebastian Loeb, 9-time World Rally Championship winning driver; Marcel Leffler, Adam Friedrich Lohnfink, Niklaus von Hagenau, Jean-Georges Paulus, Redmar of Hagenau, 12th century Minnesinger; Marie-Louise Roth, a literary scientist; Elie Scheid, a Jewish French communal worker and writer; Diebold Schilling the Younger, 1515, an Alsatian Swiss chronicler; Marius Schneider, Elek Schwartz, Theobald Schwartz, Pierre Seal, an activist; Edward Statiller, Johannes Strew, Peter Stulin, Joseph Thierry, Michel Walter, Mathieu Weil, a Jewish-French mathematician. Twin towns. Hagenau is twinned with Landau. Media. Episode 8 of TV World War II miniseries Band of Brothers is set in Hagenau.